Hey guys, I'm Round 1 Fight, and this is my reaction to Aang vs. Aether, Avatar vs. Genshin Impact, Death Battle. Honestly, not really excited for this one much. I'm not particularly happy about the somewhat of a setup, so to speak. Like, I was never really that happy the match was happening in the Kickstarter compared to literally all of the other ones being matches I at least had some sort of interest in, barring things like Shigaraki versus Mahito or Chief Slayer. This one, though, from my understanding, was mostly to get Genshin Impact on the show, and nobody really, wanted it as much as the others. At least aside from some people. And the match has always just been Aang dies without any effort, so I'm not particularly excited about seeing him get smoked. Especially after the G1 ended with him taking experience by technicality, which was quite a funny, in the least sense of the word, image. Anyway, at the least, I'm excited for the next time, because that should be something we don't know about. And I can hopefully be excited for a new one. Anyway, I hope the episode and fight's good at least. And, yeah. Anyway, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Ooh.
Aang the Avatar versus Aether the Traveler.
Which journeyman will come out on top in this elemental battle?
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
Animation looks really
And
good.
it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Water, earth, fire,
Still pissed
air.
they couldn't make
Long
this
ago, the
after
four nations
all,
lived in
literally
harmony,
the 3
united
other
by a
Avatar
master of the
shows.
elements, the
Or
Avatar.
media.
This Avatar reincarnated as
Whatever.
different people for centuries, all with their own struggles. And man, was that true for our boy Aang.
Not at first, of
Sorry
course,
about the
thanks to his
birds.
master and guardian, Yatso.
As a cheeky little air nomad, Aang traveled the world causing shenanigans, all while learning to control the winds with air bending.
Based on the real-life martial art Bagua Zhang,
That was one thing
airbending
I
is the
always
most
liked about the
spiritual
show,
of the
from
four
what I heard of it.
styles, focusing
Basing
on
him off
evading and
martial
diverting
arts
attacks
made me
through
feel a lot
circular
more real
motions.
than just,
With even the smallest
"Go,
movement,
my fire,
Aang
go,
can
my
create
air,
tornadoes,
go,
run
my
like the
earth,"
wind,
blah,
and
blah.
block hypersonic explosions.
The perfect style for a twinkle-toed goofball like Aang. He even invented his own technique, the air scooter. How does he not fall off that thing?
Add in a glider staff for flight, and the sky was the limit. But you
So
know
I
how it
didn't mention
goes.
anything about
Everything
fire,
changed when the Fire
At
Nation
least
attacked.
two.
Their conquest spread, war was inevitable, and Aang was the only one who could save the world.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with all that, and being forcibly separated from Gyatso. He was just a kid, so he froze up. Like, literally, he accidentally froze himself and his adorable Sky Bison Appa for 100 years.
Appa.
Until he was awakened by the Water Tribe siblings Katara and Sokka. Time wasn't kind to Aang's people. With no avatar to keep balance, the Airbenders, Aang's entire culture, were wiped out by the Fire Nation.
Oh, that's rough, buddy. But Aang took the wake-up call to heart.
As the Avatar, it's Aang's duty to understand the world's people, learning their cultures, their sadness, joy, and humanity.
And what better way to do that than learning how they kick ass?
From the Northern Water Tribe and his twin crush, Aang learned waterbending. Themed around fluid Tai Chi movements, this style controls liquid in all forms to freeze targets, create water whips, and even cut through steel.
Learning earthbending was way tougher, but Aang's friend Toph taught him to stop being a wimpy
Blah, blah,
pushover.
blah.
Now he can armor himself in stone, move the terrain of
I
entire
guess so.
cities, and fight
curious if
blind
they'll
with a
have him
sonar-style
energy bend in
seismic
the
sense.
animation for
Earthbending
once.
is themed around the steady stances of Hung Quan Kung Fu, waiting for the right
I guess
moment to
that'd
strike
be a
head on.
pretty cool
There was a lot to learn,
design,
but even with the world at stake and this moody hothead on his tail, Aang had fun doing it. Who could forget the adventures penguin sledding, going through the bending bayous, and living in Ba Sing Se, the city where no wars ever happened.
Yet across his journey, one power eluded
means-
Aang.
That
The
means
Avatar state, an enhanced mode of being that came to him in moments of peril.
Sure, if Aang dies in it, the Avatar cycle ends permanently, but who cares when it gives you enough power to wipe out a whole Navy fleet?
Come on, Boomstick. The Avatar state is more than just a power amp.
Yeah.
Jocelyn, how long have you been standing there?
I've been here the whole time.
Interesting,
I lurk
guess.
where all Avatar talk is.
Through the cosmic power of
Not
the
really
avatars before him
that
and the
interested
ancient
in
spirit Rava, Aang gains the
Jocelyn,
knowledge and
Donnie, and whatnot.
experience of all previous avatars, greatly expanding his bending options. Lava bending from Avatar Roku, sonic shouts from Avatar Yang Chen, and
Oh, cool.
even more are theoretically available to him through their memories.
Oh, I get it. You can't just grind your way to controlling the Avatar state.
Right. If Aang wanted to stop Fire Lord Ozai, he needed something else.
He needed onion banana juice.
Yeah, technically, I suppose. Gross.
Specifically, Aang sought the guidance of Guru Pate. Mastering his power meant clearing
Oh,
his
Lightning
chakras,
Generation.
emptying his mind of earthly attachments. Seems simple, but this also meant rejecting his feelings for Katara, the person he loved most.
When he had to choose between the world or the girl, Aang followed his heart and it didn't end well.
That was
When
pretty good
nicotine cravings keep you up at night,
to that season. If I had to rank them, I'd say season 2 is my least.
the real nightmare.
So season 3 is my
It's the
most
next
favorite.
day.
Season 1 is second, and season 2 is my third favorite. That's mainly by technicality. None of them are like outright bad. I just enjoy season 2. the most.
Tonight, in your spacious La Quinta
I
suite,
actually
your
saw
eyes
all
could
of them
use a
back in
break.
2019.
After a long day of seeing,
Got super bored with quarantine and
things.
whatnot. So
but hey,
That's
free
what I saw.
waffles always make you forget. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine.
He got better. Aang was determined to understand the world's people, even the enemy Fire Nation. Something he accomplished thanks to the redeemed Prince Zuko, the Sun Warriors,
And these two honking dragons! Aang was scared of
Yeah,
firebending,
did it ever
but
really
it's totally
explain
awesome.
why they were just
it's
there?
not just about burning and blowing shit up. Okay, well it is, but there's so much more to it.
formed from the explosive movements of Shaolin Kung Fu. Firebending controls all manner of heat. And through the teachings of fire and water, he can redirect lightning bending, a burst of atmospheric discharge shot at over 200,000 miles per hour.
Iroh, the best uncle ever, used his techniques to redirect natural lightning. So, you know it's the real deal. Not crazy enough? At his peak, Aang surpassed benders who could throw buildings, melt stone, and hold up this gigantic library solo. Whooping Ozai's butt should be no problem, right?
Not exactly. You see, the air nomads were pacifists who believed in the value of life above all. Being the last airbender, Aang didn't think his people were truly gone unless he went back on their teachings, meaning he really didn't want to kill Ozai.
So, what, he's just a coward now? Mr. Fire Lord is about to burn down the entire Earth Kingdom.
Not at all. Are you even listening? Aang was simply
Honestly-
at odds with what he wanted and what the world expected, so he needed to make a choice.
Right. In his greatest
Honestly, I
challenge
never
yet,
really
Aang discovered
thought
his
Aang
true
was
self, making his spirit
in the right
unbendable
for that
and
decision,
finally
but that's
mastering
something.
the Avatar state.
if it was more
Making him
built
as
up,
strong
like
as avatars who
learning
could cause
energy bending.
hurricanes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions.
Or in Avatar Kyoshi's case,
Yeah,
a
here we go.
new island. As in, she broke off nearly 30 square miles of a peninsula to form a new landmass. But to defeat Ozai, Aang needed one final element, something few avatars had bent before: energy bending.
Not the easiest thing to do, but Aang totally overwhelmed Ozai, severing the tyrant's connection to fire and stopping his invasion, all while keeping his no-kill run intact. The ultimate FU to this warlord's
He
ideology.
did
Now
kill
that the
before,
Fire
so-
Nation had cooled off,
Ugh.
Aang led a new era of peace with the United Republic of Nations, a place where all people could prosper and where a new generation and a new avatar would take the reins.
He even got hitched with Katara. Take that, Zutara shippers.
I will end you.
For all his
Yeah, I love
doubts,
that.
Aang fulfilled the avatar's destiny and then some, and he did it in a way that was true to who he was.
Because before being the Avatar, or even an airbender, the greatest thing he could ever be was himself. All in a day's work for a free, fun-loving kid.
Yeah, that was pretty good. A
The
lot better
battle
than
is
his
coming
last
up
one.
thanks to this episode's sponsor, DraftKings Casino.
Big news from the casino!
Okay.
Lightning Link is available.
Simply 20 eligibility is only and expire each day after 23rd at
A barbecue
11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
Alright. It was pretty good.
Add extra barbecue sauce.
Ad Astra Abyssas.
Yeah.
Welcome to Tevat, a mysterious land governed by godly
know, maybe
archons
they'll
that
somehow
drew
do
the
a
eye
switch
of
up where
someone
Aether
beyond the
wins.
stars.
Not
Aether.
expecting
AKA
it,
the
but whatever.
Traveler, who escaped his dying world with his sister Lumine in search of the
Aether.
flowers that bloomed on their lost home, only to
Yeah, I
crash
wish it-
land,
I
awaken
wish
to
we
an
had
apocalypse,
more
and
of
get
the
cubed by this
characters in
jerk.
these,
Separated from
like,
his sister, Aether
things.
awoke, again, in a new,
Like,
less
oh,
apocalyptic
like
age,
Lumine
and fished
or
up his own
something.
pathetic pet pixie, Paimon.
Yeah, she makes for good emergency food. With his new guide, Traveler to the windy country of Mondstadt to find his link to the past, but got a Breath of the Wild glider instead.
And his first element, Animo, letting him make air slashes, tornadoes, and of course,
Windblade! But guess what? Traveler wasn't the only one with a power like this. Tevat was full of blessed people wielding these relic things called visions.
vision bearers can imbue their weapons and bodies with elemental power, summon items, and use a special, well, vision
Aang's
to
was-
perceive the elements around them.
Normally, they're limited to a single element, but Traveler is just built different. Through Paimon's guidance, he began collecting elements from mysterious statues across Tevat. No vision relic needed for him.
Oh,
Each
Aang's was a
nation
lot longer
had a
than I
new
expected. It was
culture, a new element,
6:30,
a new
I
crisis.
think.
And new character banners. When asked to play a sleuth for a murder case in Liyue, Traveler wasn't interested. A corpse couldn't tell him where his sis was, but he was roped in anyway and got the Geo ability to
Classic
form rock constructs
JRPG
and
thing.
eruptions of Earth.
When Aether ventured to Inazuma, he didn't care
I haven't
about
played
its
too
war
many
with the
RPGs,
vision bearers
but-
and their Archon either, until he saw
Mario
the
and
suffering
Luigi and
caused by
Persona
its
5
tyrannical
have a
rule, and
lot
joined the
of
resistance
those
with
kind of
electro
things.
abilities, fighting the
Like,
powers that
oh,
be
I have to
using
go
electric
save this one person
buzzsaw,
who's trash
thunder
talking
blades, and
people
lightning.
online.
He even learned to
Persona.
dodge lightning. Other electro users like my wife Lisa can conjure storms. No shock when my adopted daughter Klee made explosions that raised mountains. Traveler met all kinds of people like this. You know the type. Twinks.
Yeah, Tevat has its own laws, Boomstick. Many twinks being one of them. Maybe 2 or 3 of them, actually.
Ringmaster.
Shut
Yeah.
up, Wiz. This guy's been playing Genshin since launch.
I know everything there is to know about the Genshin meta. Either
I
can mix
honestly
elements for
forget
different
how long it's
reactions.
been.
Basically,
My main
big
experience has
elemental
been
combinations.
freaking Crunchyroll
Geo
app back when I
crystallizes
first
materials
started
into
watching Demon
special
Slayer.
barriers. Electro mixed with water stuns foes. Animo spreads elements around in swirls of destruction. Boom!
Like how I combine beer and gunpowder.
Exactly, Boomstick. Using Dendro,
Sorry if I'm
Traveler
not
can
super
form
interested
plant
or
life that,
anything.
when
It's-
mixed with water and lightning,
know.
makes homing beams. Yeah, run from that. With enough clever thinking and artifact farming, you can combine anything in Genshin.
Okay, we get it. Go lose another 50-50, you whale.
I'll show you a whale. Drop one on your lap next time you're not looking.
In su-
Well, that's a pretty cool crossover, I guess. I've seen this freaking ad everywhere for months.
Sumeru, Traveler later beat Scaramouche, an edgy catboy with multiple elements at his fingertips, all in a time loop that got repeated 168 times.
Speaking of time, Aether had control of more than just his own future. Tevat's fate fundamentally changed in ways small and grand, all through his unending willpower.
Because the Traveler was a descender, someone unbound by the land's destiny. Even this big tree that records all of the world's events had no idea he existed.
Like when he helped defy the judgment of a biblical flood in Fontaine, where he mastered Hydro for his best Cuphead impression with water bullets.
Heck, a dinosaur chose not to blow up the world just because Paimon and Traveler befriended it. If that wasn't cool enough, Traveler can, unrelated, turn into a dinosaur. Hell yeah! Yo, look at him. Wonder if I could get a dinosaur on my Genshin team.
Through these legally distinct Pokemon, Aether can fly, dig through the earth, or charge foes like a Jurassic bull. He traveled across the land, searching far and wide, and finally stopped swinging that one-star dull blade.
Instead, picking up the prototype Rancor, which he wields like a beast thanks to the Swordmaster Skirk and several straight days training. What a grind set! Still, Traveler Sist kept eluding him, choosing to hang in the shadows with these Gluminati folk.
A group from Conria, the
Sorry
nation
for
cursed
the
by the
bad
gods for
isolated.
messing with the Abyss. Unbeknownst to Aether, his sister had already traveled to Vat in a journey that mirrored his own.
And at the end, she found... Well, we don't really know. Not yet, at least. But whatever it is got her to side with the creepy villains. Lot twist!
Eventually, Aether reached the nation of Natlan to fight in its never-ending war with the Abyss. He gained the Pyro element, learning to launch fireballs and
Cool.
explosions combined of flame with lightning.
He didn't just dabble in fancy
Yeah, that's pretty
pyrotechnics.
easy to put
By
in
connecting with the people there, Traveler achieved Night Soul's Blessing, a power-up state fueled by primordial element juice, strong enough to make a blade of fire hundreds of feet long. Hell yeah, that's strong enough to take down the heart of the Abyss, which is on the level of 5-star waifus like Mawika and the Raiden Shogun.
An Archon who, in ages past, sliced Yashiori Island in two.
That's cool, but how about when this Venti guy threw a whole-ass mountain? According to Paimon, Traveler can level a mountain himself.
Additionally, Aether learned how to use light energy to form a Kuvaki shield, something he used to protect the people of Nodcry by blocking a cannon blast with enough energy to obliterate a town.
This was no ordinary cannon either. It also uses Kavaki energy, so that's a beam of light.
Yeah. They're gonna have him stat storm.
At
probably.
Planet Fitness, your pace is as personal as...
Through all his adventures, Aether had come to genuinely care for Tevat's people. Maybe one day he will reunite with his sister, but for now, he's fighting for a whole new world. His new home.
Ooh, you need a higher adventure rank for that.
Don't you worry, gang. I dumped all my savings into Primo Gems for this. We can't miss when those ice guys trying to kill the Traveler inevitably warm up to him. Still got it.
Oh, so that's why you're broke as shit.
To Aether, the journey has meaning. The birds of Tevat, the songs of its people, they are all part of it. Even if he's against the Abyss itself, a new dawn is somewhere just beyond the stars, and a field of flowers Lumine too loved.
Cool.
The battle's about to start, and if you like death battle music, some of your favorite battle tracks are coming to a collectible vinyl album.
This album features 10 tracks from our
Hell's
independent
Angel, that
era,
song's
created
pretty
by
good.
our awesome composers Brandon Yates and Theirwolf Media, like Death and Bloom from Ruby vs. Maka.
I wonder where the rock information coming is. No offense to you, but I don't know.
Or Requiem for a Thief from Joker vs. Giorno.
Oh, can't forget Game Over from Bowser vs. Eggman.
This one's pretty
And
good.
more.
Like,
Plus, it makes a great
didn't
piece of
really
art to
see
display
much
around
of
your
the appeal
place.
to other
Drawn up
people.
by our own animation director, Luis Cruz.
This album is only available for pre-order, so head to deathbattle.gg or click the link in the description before August 10th and pre-order a copy so you don't miss out.
And remember, Archivist and Chronicler members get a discount. That's deathbattle.gg, the home of Death Battle.
alright.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data
Aang's
through
gonna
all
die.
possibilities.
I know you need
It's
pause.
time for a death battle!
I hope it's a good fight at least. Oh, the music sounds good. Love this fight. It starts moving.
2 elements? Cute!
You guys are riding it? That's so cool. Oh yeah. Oh, that's perfectly on there. Oh, that's what that was. Looks great, at least. Ooh. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look for the track after this.
What's going on?
Still looks pretty cool.
Everyone goes treasure hunting for 2
Oh, Appa better not get involved. I don't know. No, Appa, please go. That's like Avatar, actually.
Cool glider. Can it do this?
Yeah, this animation's great. And his power's way better than the last one.
Come on, Traveler! Get up! Never, ever, ever stop moving forward! Remember!
No one fights alone.
Only thing he said so far is whatever.
For those who came before, and those who will follow, I am Avatar Aang, the last Airbender.
Cool. Yeah, it was coming actually.
Take this! The heights and shallows. Through infinite dusks and dawns!
Wyman gives me the best shine and the best reflections.
Right before the kill blow.
Your kitchen says a lot about you.
Sorry.
The mountains are calling.
And I'm not answering.
Way to go, Traveler! But does this mean no treasure?
Whatever.
KO! And the dailies are done. What a miss.
This was an interesting pairing, so let's break this down by power, experience, speed, and elements.
First up, power. Aang and Traveler could both change the terrain of entire cities, and were way stronger than characters that can break mountains. But at their peak, they're both tearing up islands.
Aang's avatar state made him on par with Kyoshi, who created and moved the island of Kyoshi. Similarly, Night Soul's blessing let Aether contend with Archon-level foes like the Raiden Shogun, who split Yashiori Island in two.
With an attack that even Vision...
Kazuya, this character blocked that thing with 2 elements. Aether has more elements and some restrictions. Aether also survived a duplication, whose power has been compared to an Archon, whatever.
Weaker than Traveler can block, so he's definitely on that level.
Kyoshi Island is over 6 miles wide and long. Kyoshi moved the island 17 miles offshore in 2 seconds. So we have everything we need to calculate the amount of kinetic energy this would require.
Scaling Aang to the moon spear, Aether scales to Varga, whatever.
Turns out it's basically the same as cutting through Yashiori Island. About 3,000 gigatons of TNT. So their power is tied up.
Which means comparing their experience is crucial.
Aether's mastered more elements than Aang, but the Avatar state gave Aang centuries of knowledge.
With the memories and abilities of past avatars, Aang's kit was so extensive in a way Aether had no real answer for.
Not to mention, Aang's training was more focused. Traveler is skilled, sure, but his training was mostly just a means to finding his sister, while Aang's journey was all about mastering elements to combat other elements.
Experience narrowly goes to Aang. However, another important factor to consider is speed.
In terms of mobility, both could roughly match the other. If Traveler was immobilized with earthbending, he could just dig his way out as a dinosaur.
And Aang's airbending and glider meant he could easily counter Aether if he took flight.
But in terms of raw reaction speed, Traveler had it in the bag. Aang bending away lightning is crazy fast, but Traveler could dodge lightning much earlier in his journey, and now he can block that light-speed Kuvaki laser.
While lightning can move over 200,000 miles per hour, a beam of light can move 186,000 miles per second.
Over 3,000 times faster than Aang. Traveler takes speed by a landslide.
So this all came down to the elements. Who could turn the forces of nature against the other?
At first, I actually thought this was Aang's dub.
Aether's elemental control is remarkable, but most of his attacks are projectiles, spires, and very specific implements that Aang has bent away in the past. Aether has never shown the precision or creative flexibility that we've seen with Aang's bending.
But throw in the combos of elemental reactions and the script flips. Traveler could mix not just his elements, but also Aang's in ways that Aang could not. Bending was Aang's greatest strength, but also, against Traveler, a weakness.
Because Aang usually had one or more elements around him, it gave Aether an easy access point through these combinations. When Aang used fire, Aether could use lightning to catch him in an overload. If Aang used water, Traveler's electrocharge could paralyze him, and so on.
This isn't just a gameplay thing. Genshin characters like the lovely Lisa canonically say this is how the elements work.
And unlike Aang, Aether has fought multiple people who can use multiple elements. The longer the fight went on, the more Aether would trip Aang up with these combinations, some of which Aang could not bend.
Aang could redirect lightning, sure, but what about electro buzzsaws, or an electrified tornado, or dendroblasts of pure plant energy?
The Kavaki shield especially gave Aether a strong defense to fall back on. Since it was made of pure light, Aang had no way to remove it outside of brute force.
By comparison, Aang's wind barrier wouldn't block Traveler's elements. It would actually merge with them and create more combos that would target Aang himself. Not a great situation to be in.
And since Aether's powers came from external earthly sources, like those statues, Aang could not depower him with energy bending, even if he theoretically overcame Aether's willpower.
Willpower that is strong enough to alter the fate of the entire world. Sorry, Aang, but elements goes to the Traveler, cinching his victory. Either way you cut it, he was in his element.
The winner is the Traveler,
please
Aether.
Please be good.
Okay, I'm ready for my cameo.
Okay.
Oh.
Meh.
Next time
what's
on
next?
Death Battle.
Huh? Wait. What? Huh?
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
That's interesting. Bionicle? Really? Really? Don't freaking care about that. Wait, I gotta see that again. So,
subscribe and
that's freaking. I don't even know what to think about that. Like, people memed about Bionicle and whatnot, but it's literally not that, like, popular among, like, Lego fans. Like, it's liked, but I didn't think it warranted enough to get an episode. Though at least now I can tell everybody who's saying Bunny Rabbit isn't popular enough to get an episode to shut up, considering Bionicle did. But still, I saw Ninjago, and I was, for a second, I thought it could be TMNT versus Ninjago, but dang. Like, I guess it is a little funny that Kai is the first Ninjago character to get on Death Battle, because, you know, he is basically the protagonist, or at least he was for a while. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for that, actually. I like the unexpected nature of it. Well, the episode was good, even if I do not care for the idea. It was made well, song was good, next time is something I can actually care about. I hope Kai wins. Not sure if he will, but who knows. At least now I can be excited for potential episodes and not just inevitably waiting for this. Yeah. Anyway, sorry if I was lower octane or anything like that. I'll see y'all in the next one and hopefully make some more trailers in the time being. I've actually recently been doing commissions. I don't know if any of you saw that, but I'm trying to pitch Rogue vs. Bunny to Ben and Chad whenever those open up back up again. And if any of you want to see that, please consider commissioning a trailer from me. I'd be happy to make it and hopefully earn enough to pitch what my second most wanted to them. Anyway, enough of that. I'll see y'all next time, and probably sooner I'll be making some trailers here and there, but have a good day, y'all. God bless. Goodbye.